It's ridiculous fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think because the characters are inherently just kind of really stupid but lovable. I think being in that state for a lot of the time is a lot of fun.
There's a lot of just pure joy, and the fact that we get to kind of embrace it so wholeheartedly and physically, the satisfaction as performers when you come off the stage on the other side, particularly when the audiences come on the ride with you in this wave of hysteria, it's just magic.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in terms of the physical side of it, yeah, I kind of think along with that, it is very, very physical. You know, it's a real riot, kind of, you know, pacing-wise and script-wise, but also physically and what we're doing. And so, yeah, kind of a real...
Well, you end up doing things that you didn't actually think you could do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Particularly when they were first presented in rehearsals, like, we want you to do X. Pardon?
Yeah, right.
But now we sort of surf quite close to those edges. It's quite good.
I think it was thinking the other day, it would have been interesting to see, like, take a video of people trying those things for the very first time and then compare them to now how good people are at them. Like, it's, it's quite a daredevil ride, but it's good fun.
And Brooke, how different is this from previous forays in theatre for you?
Hugely different. Hugely different. This, not only sort of playing this kind of diva-esque kind of, I don't know, saucy monster, to then throwing myself through windows and hurling vases at people and doing all sorts of catastrophic mixed martial arts fights. I don't think anything really like this exists in any other
No, I'd say that's pretty fair to say.
Particularly that level of chaos and violence on such a joyous level, and not for it to be a blood-soaked stage. Like, that's the beautiful thing about this, is it's there's nothing malevolent, nothing sort of subversive or nasty. It's pure joy, and anyone of any theatre-going age would get so much out of it.
Yeah, it's that kind of Home Alone school of violence.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
right.
It's that
Totally
sort of thing
right.
where you know it's when people get hit, you really are like, oh, but at the same time, it's all in the kind of a good spirit of it. You're never genuinely thinking that someone's about to.
Except for last Sunday, but let's not talk about
right.
that.
Had you seen the play before?
No, but you've experienced the play before.
Yeah, I was very lucky to have seen it in its sort of third ever show at the Old Red Lion. So that was, it's amazing to kind of see the meteoric rise of it. But yeah, that's one thing that's been really nice about working over here with the Australian cast is, in England, whenever we have, recast it and stuff like that, and certainly the recast I was in, we all knew the show already, and we had the image of it quite clearly in our heads. Whereas over here, it's been a really amazing, fresh take on it. And that's, I think, provided such an interesting take on it, which has been great. And
I'm glad we're keeping it fresh for you.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
And obviously the audience are loving it, and Brisbane audience are renowned for their sense of humour. So what are you expecting from them?
Well, that's a bit exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting to me. Yeah, I think again, like with the relationship with the audience in this show is one of the most fun things about it, and one of the most magical things about it. That every night really is different because there is no fourth wall, so the interaction with them and even at the very beginning, you're not giving too much away, but getting here early, you get a really up close look at some of the characters if you're at the theatre a little bit early and stuff like that. It's just that kind of relationship, I think, just makes it so fun.
Yeah, it's
but you probably know better than I do
interactive,
how it changes between spaces, like Sydney to Brisbane to...
in terms of the sensibilities of audiences and things like that. Yeah, it has been interesting, but that's something I think we've obviously gone into different size venues, and what is most beautiful in this production is when you have that intimacy with the audience. So we've now, I think, got it all balanced nice so that even in the bigger spaces we can do that. But at any given point, someone is laughing at whatever's going on on stage, and eventually that just builds to this incredible chaotic tidal wave of audience members laughing at other audience members, laughing at what's going on stage. It's quite... It's a real tonic. It's genuine belly laughter, and it seems to be total group therapy. It's quite cool.
Thank you.
The position in this is just so incredible. Is there a lot of mishaps that happen already?
Well, we have our pals' life in our hands. Like we as a duty of care to our comrades, we have to be fairly precise and to execute the humour as well.
Yeah.
It's quite precise and taught with.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, kind of saying about how we learn it, like you have to learn it so slowly because you can't. The learning curve is very, very steep for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's one of those things that you get it into your muscle memory, and then you just really kind of that once it's there, then you can really have fun with it. But yeah, it is very precise, and you are, as you said, the duty of care factor does certainly enter your brain before you go on.
Yeah. Oh, it's dynamite. So yeah, what I've seen already, it's dynamite.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Does it take you long to prepare, for your roles, to get to the stages you are now?
Sort of each night or rehearsal-wise?
Rehearsal-wise.
Yeah. I mean, that took to kind of bring out those sort of clowns, those inner clowns. That takes a little while, and trying to get those to the point where, because these guys all have to be so believable. I think that's the other thing is it's very easy to make this show just so huge that it bears no kind of resemblance, and actually then you don't really feel for the characters when they're going through these terrible mishaps and mistakes that they've often brought upon themselves. But so that does take a little while to kind of bring that out. And in that kind of classical French clowning thing, it's opening up more than it is just kind of putting on a funny character. It's opening up to kind of a lot of...
You couldn't just roll in the theatre door and go on stage and do it. You have to be absolutely present and connected to
exactly.
fellow cast members. Absolutely.
And that takes a while in rehearsal to bring out. And then in terms of every night, like we put a big focus on a group game that we played before. At the end of every warm-up, we have a big group game, which has become very, very complicated and a real brain buster. But it's so vital to getting that sense of play and joy and kind of openness with each other to actually get it into the right place. Yeah.
How do you maintain composure and not crack up like the audience does?
Don't you say courage?
Yeah.
I think we've all adopted courage from you.
Yeah, so I had a guy called Matt Ramsey, who I worked with in New York, who was a fantastic actor, but had a real problem with corpsing when he was younger. And he said that one of his teachers always said that whenever he's on the edge of laughing, he just says to himself, courage, which is so strange. And it's quite funny in itself, but it puts your brain into such a different point. You're like, yeah. But it is hard sometimes, because this is a very funny play, and you forget sometimes how funny it is, and a moment just catches you off guard, and suddenly you're really having to dig that courage quite deep.
And do unexpected things still happen? Like you said, it's different every night. There are always different things that you guys don't even expect.
It depends.
Here and there things do happen, but again, I think it goes back to the precision and the choreography. That's something that's so ingrained. But it's kind of great when it does, in a way, particularly if no harm is done, as it kind of gives us that little extra kind of adrenal twist that gets us a little bit on edge with the audience, which that energy exchange that feeds. And I think that's good.
I think that there's exactly as you're saying. There are sections that are so tightly choreographed that things are always very, very similar. But at the same time, with the audience factor, sometimes the things that set you off are audience reactions to certain things, like someone laughing or just. We had it the other day in Canberra.
Contributing, that kills me.
Someone yelling out, "Oh God!" in the middle of something, and that was a very hard thing to stay with. But it's fantastic that it opens up that level, and also we have an added element to this in that things can go right.
Yeah.
So the audience have no idea that something's not gone to plan, but we do. So we have to then go through a scene that seems normal, but to all of us, we're like, oh, this is slightly strange, So when something should have gone wrong but hasn't, then that's a kind of added element that you have to be aware of.
How does comedy compare, I guess, to other types of performing? Is it a different euphoria afterwards? How does it compare?
Well, I think in that respect, particularly with this project, it's a very rare thing to have an audience laughing constantly for, even in any other comedy show, but to have an audience laughing for 2.5 hours straight, that's quite a phenomenon in itself. So it is a little bit unique in this respect, my experience of that kind of comedy. And I don't think any of us had, when we were, as going back to trying to keep composure in rehearsals, we were all thoroughly enjoying it and laughing through the process. And then, of course, the first time we had an audience, we could not do that. But also in that exchange, we suddenly, for the first time, which you'd had before, had the audience response, which was so big and so kind of constant and surprising for us. So this is kind of quite unique. It does definitely, I have some moments where I get goosebumps just because of the pure joy that is building in the room. It's pretty special in that respect.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's really